6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Welcome back. You on 702 Thabo in for Clement. I'm always thrilled to be in your company because you bring out these views, these perspectives that I would not have imagined. Always an eye-opener having a word with our 702 lenders here on the radio. I think you heard on the news that Malusi Kikaba is not charged. You might have heard that in EWN a few minutes ago, and in the previous bulletin as well. On top of the hour at 10, they did mention that he was not charged, despite the fact that he had said that he will be handing himself in today, and he's going to be formally charged. What is going on? I am lost. I'm literally lost. What is going on? Maybe we would need some clarity, but stay tuned on 702 as subsequent shows will deal with that issue thoroughly. You'd know that Mandy Winner will join us between 12 and 1 o'clock, and Rele Bokhile between 1 and 3. John Pellman comes through between 3 and 6. And Stephen Rotes with the Money Show up until 8 o'clock. And Bra Obs will take us all the way to midnight. The great Aubrey Masango. Do not miss that one. And I know that in that show you will have plenty of opportunity to ventilate, argue, debate, dissect, and go into in-depth analysis with everything else that we have touched on. Well, on our show right now, relationship focus. I never, ever move furniture. And today we have very interesting topic, especially about counseling. Do you go to counseling? How often do you go? For your relationship at least, do you feel the need to go to counseling as couples? Well, let me know. 011-883-0702, 8 after 11.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Leigh Joy, relationship coach, is my guest, and she joins us right now because we often think couples therapy, we think of it as the last resort of some sort. And sometimes couples only turn out to go to these counseling sessions when there's a very, very serious problem, seeking help. But you may find that it is a little bit late, and I hope not. But there are some couples, research shows that there are some couples who consider therapy after 3 years of problems ensuing. And when they go there, resentment has grown, dissatisfaction, anger, and issues have piled up on issues and issues and issues. So I wanted to know from you, have you sought counseling in your relationship? Are you curious about whether you and your partner should consider couples counseling? Do you think your relationship might use some counsel? Let us know. It's a safe space as we discuss with my friend, relationship coach, Leigh Joy. Leigh, lovely having you. Hope you're good.
Hello. It's Friday.
It's Friday. And I'm happy to have you here, Leigh. Everything well with you?
So good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm chilled. I'm free. I'm happy. I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I wanted to find out, do couples consider couple counseling only when things are really, really terrible? And I'm asking that because as I was telling Bongani Bingwa what's coming up on the show, on the morning breakfast, he said that he knows of a couple who were seemingly very, very happy, and they were lovey-dovey, everything was going on, but for some reason they said, let's just go to counseling. And therein, issues were unearthed, despite how happy they seemed to be.
I think every relationship has its hardships, right? I don't think everybody goes to therapy or counseling only when there are problems. If you look at premarital counseling, that's a good example of how people are equipped to be able to navigate, marriage. I'm busy studying biblical counseling, and I'm loving it, Thabo.
Really?
Yours, it's such a beautiful way of engaging with people in the relationship space. Obviously, I don't only work with Christians, but I'm very excited to be working with Christians in the counseling space.
Disclaimer. But why is it that there's a stigma around counseling, Leigh? Do you know?
It's such a good question, because I wondered, I think, I'm going to go out on a limb. A lot of men struggle to go to counseling. And
I do.
yeah, I think it's more of a stigma for men to go to counseling than it is for women to go to counseling. And through my research of, my lived experience, I think it's because women are socialized to be emotional. We're from little. We socialized, and it comes quite naturally for us to be social creatures. And not just, I mean, men are social as well.
Yeah.
But they can go for drinks at the bar. But but if you ask them what are they actually talking about, they're talking about cars and motorbikes and rugby.
Yeah.
They're not really talking about like, hey, my wife. They may say, hey, my wife's driving me nuts, but then that would be it. It wouldn't be an in-depth conversation
That's
around
true. That is true.
what's difficult for them.
That is
So
true.
I think there are a couple of stigmas. One, that men struggle to open up, or when they do open up, they don't feel like it's pretty. They don't feel like it's done in an eloquent way. That's the word I'm looking for. So they struggle. They don't. Yeah. So that's the one stigma. The second stigma is, I think it's like keeping up with the Joneses. Like, wow, we got this this facade of a relationship that we've got, and if we're going to therapy, then there must be something wrong, like wrong with us. Whereas, in my opinion and what I've seen, and obviously not all of them, I've had people come for counseling and they come for 1 or 2 sessions and they realize, I actually have to divorce this person. It's not working. They're not listening. It's the same stuff. So therapy doesn't necessarily save relationships, but it does bring honesty to the fore. And so people are then either, and some of the relationships that I've had the honor of walking alongside have gone on to be so robust and so resilient and so deeply compassionate and loving that they were never before. And I think the counseling space gives that. Like, if people ask me what's the one thing, if I just say what's the one thing I do as a counselor, I'd say that I offer people an authentic, genuine, courageous space, an honest space, to be able to be open with each other and to find a solution to the difficulties in their miscommunication, to clear out and rebuild the foundation, some of the foundation of their relationship because of bitterness and resentful of past experiences. And so the one thing is to create that space so people can clean up and build something really robust and resilient.
So counseling is not necessarily there to save a relationship.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I can't promise people that. I say to them, listen, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're here to be able to hear each other deeply. But let me try and work out the percentages. I would say at least 10% of people that come to see me for marriage counseling land up getting divorced.
Okay.
And that's not to say that my counseling's not good. Or
I was
that
about to ask.
Yeah, I mean, it may be.
I'm kidding. I know you're very good. I'm just pulling your leg, Leigh. Leigh, I also wanted to find out before we take a break. I know that very soon Abel will force me to take a break. Going to counseling as an individual versus going to couples counseling, what is the difference between the two?
So the way that I like to work is I see the individuals and I see the couple.
Yeah.
I find that people, when they're in an individual session, they can be a lot more open about what's going. So let's talk. There's two questions or two scenarios about individual counseling that I want to speak to. So the one is, if people come for couples counseling and I see them individually because I need to do their history and figure out their attachment styles and all of that, and it would be boring for the other person to sit and, not boring, but
it would be.
People need to be honest in their own space.
Yeah.
They need to be honest they need to be given a space to be totally honest, because I find that sometimes my clients will voice something to me that they're too scared to voice to their partner.
Yes.
And then when they voiced it, they've been given that opportunity to voice it, they go, oh, I don't know if I really feel like that. I feel like this. Yeah. Oh, sure. I didn't realize I felt like that. And so the couples counseling sessions become a lot more open and honest because they've been given that space to be honest and real with themselves. And then for individuals, people coming just for counseling for themselves, I do a lot of work around trauma and grief in the individual space, and also dating coaching. So with the individual coaching, the thing that I find that people walk away from therapy with me is that they've had a place to practice being who they are, and for me to feed back to them how I experience them, and for them to see their blind spots then, and for them to see themselves in a more holistic way, and to see how they self-sabotage. So I'm not a judgmental, condemning person, but I'll just bring to their awareness and something that I'm witnessing.
Sure.
So, and also to come to terms with one's past, to be able to give voice to different pasts, like the inner child, the inner teenager, and the inner adult. Give a place to be able to express those different parts of us with regards to trauma and grief. So it's a very, it's a very beautiful, sacred journey. Both counseling, couples counseling, and individual counseling.
And I'm wondering, when you're having couples counseling, are you not experiencing in some instances a competition on who is right and who's wrong? The other trying to prove that they are the ones who are okay, and the Looney Tunes is the guy sitting next to me.
Yeah, so there's in this biblical counseling module that I'm learning, there's a script that they suggest. And the first is, this is how I feel, how do you feel? So it's not I'm right, you wrong, or you right, I'm wrong. And then, did I get you right? Did I understand what you're saying? So it's almost coming from a mutual space, a non-emotional space. If people are like, I did this and you did that, and I stop that very quickly, because that they can do at home, like on their free hours. They're not going to pay me to waste their money.
Coming to you, we can get rid of that quickly then.
So I have a script that I take people through with regards to really understanding each other, because that's really what it's about, right? If it's going to be about you and me, who's going to be right, our relationship is losing. And what we're wanting is a robust society and a strong society. And a strong society is built on strong relationships. So if we're going to be pointing fingers who's right and wrong, we're not going to get anywhere.
18 minutes after 11 o'clock on Relationship Focus this Friday. When should couples seek counseling? Have you sought counseling as a couple? What did you get when you and your partner went for counseling? How did you experience it? I always get the feeling that someone who's giving us counseling would take sides with a wrong person. I get that feeling at times. And that's why perhaps I fear going to counseling. Do you fear going to counseling like me? Or have you been? What was your experience like? Please let me know on 011-883-0702, and it could be that counseling saved your relationship or helped you to go separate ways. 072-702-1702.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
Do the bylaws make an assumption about people's attitude to each other? Because if we go away from informal trading just for a moment and think, bylaws deals with noise levels in neighborhoods, they deal with illegal dumping, and all of them seem to me to either presume that the sanction that you can apply is a significant deterrent.
So many bylaws that we have that we need to adhere to. A lot of people are not aware of what the bylaws are. They are not really well informed in terms of how they should be.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
This Saturday, charge into the future at the BYD Mega Electric Day, happening at BYD dealerships nationwide. Feel the instant power of BYD's all-electric Oceans range with free test drives, plus music, food, games, and for fun for the whole family. What's more, BYD is offering exclusive deals on selected BYD electric vehicles ordered this weekend. So, don't just dream electric, drive it. Find your nearest BYD dealership at byd.com and head there this Saturday.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 Rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your number one choice. Home in One has it all.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
702, thanks very much for joining us. Welcome back. Relationship Focus every Friday, and today is no different. Leigh Joy, relationship coach, is my guest, and I will get her to give out her details just before the show ends as to how you can link up with her. But for now, we're talking about couples counseling. Who needs it? How have you found it to be? Are you a couple currently in distress? Perhaps you're fighting a lot or things are not going well and you've been considering counseling. And it could be also that you are just okay and you're thinking, we don't need it. We don't need it at all. But it has been found that it could be that you do need it because there may be some issues that are bubbling under. Just before the break, earlier I mentioned that I am not a big fan of counseling simply because I'm always thinking that perhaps the counselor will misdiagnose and not perhaps see through the theatrics of the person I'm in counseling with, because oftentimes we date actresses who are there for the show and to gain sympathy. And my biggest fear is that especially when someone is such a great actress that she cries on cue, and I will be made a monster with horns, and the counselor not knowing that this person is just performing. Leigh?
So with regards to being a skilled counselor, one needs to be able to be impartial, right?
Yeah.
It's and one of the readings that I did this week with the course that I'm doing, the therapist said, I'm not on either one. I'm not on the husband or the wife's side. I'm on God's side. So I'm here to be impartial and to help the couple create a God-willed relationship, right? I think what has been helpful sometimes is that a partner may use a tone or words that are triggering to the other. And so I can see there's this he said, I'm right, you wrong thing that plays off. And sometimes I'll reframe what I understand the other person is saying. So say the husband is saying something in a tone and using words that trigger the wife. And I can see she's getting upset and she's not understanding what he's saying. I may then reframe what he's saying so that she can maybe understand it in a different way.
Yes.
So sometimes she may feel, oh, I'm on the side of her husband, but I'll say I'm not on his side. I'm not necessarily agreeing with what he's saying. It's just this is what he's saying because you're misunderstanding. So, I think therapy is about coming back together and going, hey, I miss my friend. I miss the one we fell in love with. Yeah. I miss the one that we were like on the same page. We were on the same team. And we were out and not fighting the world, but we were facing the world together. And somewhere along the way, we started fighting each other. We changed from being alongside each other in the world, holding hands, building a future together by the grace of God, to facing each other, not holding hands, scowling and fighting. So I think counseling really is about coming back into a space where like, hey, like you've changed and okay, you've changed, but like how does that serve us? How do I understand you better? Yeah. And what's the next phase of our relationship? What does it look like? Yeah. Because often people sit without a vision. That's why they get bored and frustrated, so they take it out on each other. Yeah. So often we'll build a new vision for the relationship, and then they can come alongside each other, and then they're not to say that they're happy all the time, Thabo, but that they definitely have a more excitement around the relationship.
Am I allowed to shout during couples counseling session that she's lying, she's lying, she's lying?
No.
Okay, just
I'll
checking.
encourage my client not to shout.
Just-
I get triggered then.
I'm just checking. I'd love to hear from you. 072 702 1702. Let's go to some of your text messages here. Hi, Thabo and your guest. Can you find out for me, how does a husband deal with the wife who does not believe in counseling and she doesn't socialize a lot, so she doesn't get views from other couples or ladies or wives?
Oh, that's such a great question, Thabo. I get that often. So what I do is I encourage the party that is wanting therapy to come for therapy. And often I'll have, like, after 3 or 4 sessions, the wife or the husband who didn't want to come is like, who's this lady? What? How has she been able to affect change?
Yes, yes.
And often I just help the client that is willing to come into therapy. I do like the self-care practice with them, and I help them create a life that's full for them, that they feel they fall in love with their own lives again. I think
How's that helpful? Sorry to interrupt you. How's that helpful for a relationship, though? Because it could embolden you and perhaps edify you as an individual, but then mismatch you when you're going back to that couple session.
I haven't witnessed that. I've witnessed more the other going, oh wow, you're happier again.
Yeah.
You're like, what's going on? What is shifted for you? So I think sometimes we can become hyper focused on our partners when there's difficulty in a relationship, and when I just help people reorientate to their connection to God and what life. I mean, they've got their soul's purpose, right? And our love relationship is only one aspect of our lives. But sometimes it's like bad sex. If it's bad sex, it's like 80% of the relationship. If it's great sex, it's only 20% of the relationship.
Yes.
So the same thing is when things are tricky in a relationship, it feels like 80% of my life is in shambles. But when the relationship's going well, then we feel like things seem a lot more manageable. So when I do individual counseling in the hope that the other party will come, I help the individual to just fall in love with their own lives again and just reorientate themselves, and to recognize that, yes, my love relationship is stagnant or tricky at the moment, but it doesn't mean it's my whole life.
Yes, yes. Are you able to say, when you're counseling a couple, that this monstrous individual next to you is not good for you? Get rid of them right now.
So I first want to understand why the person is monstrous, because there's it's not such. I mean, you can, if there's abuse, right, and there's no and the other person doesn't want to be in therapy, the abusive one doesn't want to be in therapy and doesn't want to do anything about it, then in the therapeutic space we come up with what is known as a safety plan. And a safety plan is, how do we help that person exit the relationship should they want to, because that's also got to be a drive for them. I don't ever tell people what to do in the sense of you got to leave him or you got to stay, or my opinion actually is irrelevant, because I work intuitively, and I feel like I can draw on what the Holy Spirit has for me that He wants me to share with a couple. But my role is more so that the couple can hear each other, and how do they become God aligned then to continue with what God wants for them in this world, because we're here to serve our community.
I mean, in a short while, I would want to ask you about narcissists. I'll ask you about people perhaps who don't necessarily want to change. I'd ask you about people who are so good that they are not going to be altered by counseling.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
7:02 indeed, 26 minutes to 12 o'clock. Relationship Focus every Friday, and today we are looking at when couples should seek counseling. Are you one of those who need counseling as soon as possible, and you have not thought about it up until now, or you have, but you are just wondering, where do I go, where do I start, and how do I tell this person that I think, babe, we need counseling? 011-883-0702. Thomas is on the line with us. Thomas, welcome.
Thank you, Thabo. And then good afternoon, good morning.
Morning.
To you and Leigh. Okay, I'm in a situation where I don't know if I need counseling or I just need an advice. So I've been with my wife for 12 years. Everything has been fine, but throughout these 12 years, there's been up and downs. Like she's one of those people who's like very stubborn. You can't tell her anything. Everything's always fine. Then you as a man, you always have to come and ask for forgiveness. So it got to a point where I'm really tired, and like I no longer feel the love anymore. Like even if when you love your person, every time when you see them, like you get this thing in you, like it's no longer there. It's dead, completely dead. But my problem now is that we have 3 kids. So deep down inside, I feel like also myself for like hanging on for that long. I think I wasted her time as well as a human being, and I also don't believe in staying apart from my kids because I want my kids to grow up next to me. So it got to a point where I want out, but I can't because of my kids. So like the love is not there, so I don't know what to do. Like I'm stuck there.
Hey, the kids thing. Hey, that's a big one because you're thinking, I want to be around my kids. I want to raise them, but you've lost love for this person, Leigh.
So the picture that, hi Thomas, thank you so much for having the courage to phone in, and I'm so sorry that you're struggling in this way because it's really heartbreaking. The picture that I get is the relationship is a container, and it looks and sounds like the love is drained out of the container, but it doesn't mean to say that that's how it has to be. If there is still, that's why I encourage counseling, because there's sometimes people just need to get on page again and say, listen, you're not hearing me. When you do this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And this is serious. Like this has gotten to the point where I actually want to leave you. So if it's not something you're not prepared to look at, okay, cool, then we must move on.
Yeah.
But if you are willing to look at it, fantastic, because we've got family and we've got kids that we want to nurture and grow. I'm seeing more and more the research is showing that it is better to divorce if your children are in a toxic environment than to stay in a toxic environment, because the example that we show our children is that is a false reality of what a healthy relationship looks like. So whilst I don't advocate for divorce, I much rather would help a family and a couple get back on side and to start pouring love back into their relationship. There's if there's no shift and there's and one party we was like narcissistic behavior or abusive behavior, and they're really not interested in changing their behavior, then I guess one does have to reconsider.
And do what you gotta do. Mulate, it's Melissa. Melissa, hi. You're in Pretoria. Hi.
Hi, how are you, Thabo, and your guest?
We are all chilled. How are you, Melissa?
I'm good, thank you. So in my experience, I've been to 2 different counselors in terms of couple counseling. And I've just found that in terms of counselors, where one party is more in the wrong, they always try to be so diplomatic. They do not actually say the issue and the cause of what is causing this relationship to break down is party A, this is what you are doing, and this is how partner B is feeling. So that for me became very discouraging. I mean, with one counselor, I just went for one session. And after that, I said, I'm not going back because I'm not getting the help that I want.
Yes.
The root cause of my problem in this relationship is what this person is doing. So for me, I just need them to put the hard truth for both parties there as well, so that we know, as each individual, we know where we're going wrong and how do we fix this.
Melissa, you've spot on. You'd rather someone says, Thabo, you're the problem. You are doing this and this and this and this. Then, hey, you guys must work on this. And I suppose that's one of my hesitations. I could be wrong, but that's one of my hesitations for not going to counsel, because I'm thinking it's all going to be rosy and kumbaya and we are all wrong and we are all right. But the expert is here. Leigh will tell us. Leigh, where are we getting it wrong?
Hi, Melissa. Thanks for phoning in. A skilled therapist will never blame one party.
Ah.
Because both people create the dynamic. So there may be a way that the one partner is showing up and the other's not understanding it or is frustrated or triggered, and thus it throws that couple into a loop. Number one. Number two, I don't know any counselor that would be very opinionated in a first session, because it's taken a couple a lot of courage to phone to book a session. Then it's taken them another truckload of courage to show up with their bums in the seats. So I wouldn't necessarily go hard. I wouldn't go in hard in the first session, because I need the couple to have a sense of being able to trust me and learn to trust me, and to learn to trust each other in that space, because they don't really trust each other, because they're going at hammer and tongs at home.
Yeah.
So they don't really want to get into a space where it's now shouting and screaming again. So it's the first session is really about creating a container and trying to understand what is it that I'm dealing with.
Sure.
What kind of situation am I dealing with? Couples counseling is not a quick fix.
Yeah.
People think I'm going to come for 1 or 2 sessions. We're going to talk about this one topic. The counselor is going to tell this other person how they're wrong,
That
and they
you're
must
guilty.
listen.
Yeah.
They must get their stuff together, and then we're going to be fine.
Doesn't it work like that?
There's no magic bullets. There's no magic. If couples have come to me, they've been married for 12 years, they've been in a relationship for 20, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
There's a whole host of negative patterns
Yeah.
and loops that they've created over 12 years that we've got to re-engineer. We've got to first get back to ground zero of,
Yes.
okay, well, why did you guys get in a relationship? That's what I
start
do in the
off with.
first the
Yeah.
first session. The first session is, how did you guys meet?
Oh my.
Tell me that story. Tell me how. And then they look at each other different, and then their hearts are open to hearing what the other person, because suddenly they see, it's like the scales fall off their eyes, and they're like, oh, there you are. There's the one that I fell in love with. That's the
Yeah.
one that I miss.
Yes.
And then I can take people on a gentle journey of, and sometimes I'm tough. They know I am quite tough.
Yeah.
And that's not everybody's game. Yeah, but I won't sit and listen to someone's nonsense.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
if
people are playing games.
no, I do this for a living, but I don't do this for money. I do this because I'm
Yeah,
passionate about
sure.
building a strong society for all of us.
Certainly.
So if people are playing games, I'm very quick to
to pick
point
it
that
up.
out.
Play elsewhere. Yeah. Mulatelo, you are in Randburg. Hi.
Hi, Thabo.
Morning.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
Yes, it's Mulatelo, founder of Mulatelo Wellness. I'm coming as a therapist in support with the in-house therapist. I'm a social worker by profession.
Okay.
So, I'd like to comment that, yes, couple counseling is very important, especially when a relationship starts having issues. But it is very important for people to understand that for as long as you don't do a self-work journey, couple counseling might not work. You're going to go and see our gorgeous therapist who's going to see all the mistakes and give feedback, and you're not going to take it well. You're going to think, oh, the therapist is fighting with my partner, I'm not going back. So I'm saying, and I'm coming with, people need to do self-work first, because some of the issues that comes in relationships are mostly because of how people were raised, childhood traumas, and mostly how their family background and how they were raised. And to heal that, like our therapist said, it takes a while. In a couple counseling, yes, you're gonna go, they will tell you what are your mistakes, but if you don't go back as an individual, reflect and see what is the problem, it is definitely not going to work.
Sure. Mulatelo, thanks very much. Really appreciate your call, Mulatelo in Randburg there. Yeah, Leigh, I think Mulatelo agrees with what you're saying, but I want to put this on the table as well. A lot of men are hesitant to go to counseling, couples counseling. It could be, the reasons could be plenty, I imagine, and I don't want to venture into some. Equally so, I am assuming, anecdotally that is, that there would be a more number of black men who are prone not to go to counseling as well. And some have said that has somehow impacted on the society negatively. I don't want to preempt you. I just want to leave it at that and hear what you have to think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think culturally, if we understand the background of how Black African people have been raised, you had the tribal system where if there was a difficulty within a relationship, it went to the family. The family dealt with it. And then, the church came along, and then it became the pastor that dealt with it. So it's understanding the cultural elements of how we've been raised, right? And how you guys have been raised. I think also even in the white communities and colored and Indian communities, a man that shows his emotion is seen as a weak man.
Yes.
And so if you bring someone into counseling, you're showing their weakness. So and actually what has actually happened is that partners have come to respect their men even more because they've been able to be vulnerable, because it's actually a strength.
Yeah.
So I must be honest, I don't have the majority of people that come and see me are white.
Yeah.
That it is, and I think that's because it's culturally more accepted, or we've been educated in that way for a longer period.
No, but I mean, it also makes sense because there would be some cultural nuances that I would assume you'd miss in my setup as opposed to someone who'd get that. But when we come back, I just want us to speak about AI and how it's impacting the counseling space. Is it taking your jobs and self-diagnosis through AI and everything of the sort? 14 minutes to 12.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings.
8 to midnight.
Dr. Dale McKinley, political economist. Should South Africa be part of the G20 and why?
Yes, South Africa, we're the largest economy along with Nigeria on the African continent. We have played a particular kind of geopolitical role over the last 30 years, irrespective of all our problems. Yes, we do belong in the G20. I don't see any reason why South Africa would not be in it, because if you want to basically, which is what Donald Trump wants to do, he wants to basically write off Africa as an entire entity in the global stakes.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
This festive, when your family gathers, feed them the Nando's Festive Fill-Up meal. Feed Auntie, who's in charge of the key to that storeroom. And feed that niece that makes the strict grandparents do TikTok challenges. And that cousin that watches the same movie that comes in part 1, 2, 3, 4 and many more. Yeah, you can feed it too. Gather them all for the Nando's Festive Fill-Up meal for only $3.99. Eat at Nando's and pay 40 Rand less. Nando's, oh, what a place.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Standard Bank and 702 have joined forces to bring you China Unlocked.
So Africa-China Trade Solutions composes of both helping our clients with importing from China, but also with exporting to China. And that's what really encompasses our X solution. And how we help our clients access the Chinese market is by doing it through a number of ways. One of those, digitally connecting them to better Chinese buyers. We also organize B2B matchmaking sessions, virtual, some are hybrid. And when we attend some of the flagship shows, such as CIE, we also organize these physical, in-person B2B matchmaking with these Chinese buyers.
Don't miss China Unlocked on 702 Drive with John Perlman. Tuesdays on 702. Brought to you by Standard Bank Business and Commercial, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
011-883-0702. Leigh Joy is my guest. She's a relationship coach. Let's go straight to a call. Barry, you are in Val. Hi.
Good morning, Thabo. How are you?
Good on you, Barry.
Listen, I just want to give another perspective. When I was married, we also went for marriage counseling, And when you sit into the counseling room, then obviously I deal my feelings, she deals her feelings, and then everything is fine. You need to sit there and listen and actually take in what is being taken from each side. But what I want to mention now is normally when we actually left there was more fights going home afterwards, and we went for about 6 sessions, and every time there were just fights afterwards because now I mentioned something that she didn't like, and so that's all something you need to take in consideration. And it's not much, but it's a way of actually working through it. But it all depends on how you take it. And eventually we actually got divorced. But yeah, I just want to mention that as well.
Interesting take, and thanks for opening up, Barry. But and I love how pragmatic that is. You're not beating about the bush, that's what couples go through generally. That why would you say that? I thought you forgot about that. I thought you forgave me or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Barry, thanks for that, man. Appreciate it. Barry and Val. Leigh?
So I love that. Thank you so much, Barry. The a number of things that I speak to my clients about in the first session is, number one, please can you go home in silence? And I actually encourage you to come in separate cars. I'll tell you why, is because two things. One is while the couple are getting to know me, they are scared that I'm going to judge them based on what their partner said. So they feel humiliated by their partner telling me what's going on within their relationship. And only with time do they see that I don't judge them.
Yes.
But that does take time. Yeah. Secondly, there's a phenomenon called a vulnerability hangover. Yeah. So when one's been vulnerable, you feel very exposed. And so there might be frustration or the humiliation or embarrassment of the topic that was spoken to in front of another person. There's levels of trust that the one partner may feel, okay, in about 3 sessions time or in a little bit time, I can bring up this topic. And suddenly the partner brings up that topic and they're not ready to talk about that topic because they're feeling a little bit more guarded with regards to being in the session with me. And also from past experience, right? The couples, if they've brought up a topic, the other one's jumped down their throats and smacked them on the head with a sledgehammer. So it's unlearning all those things. So it's a very vulnerable process. And I feel very honored to be in the room with a couple to help them navigate being more loving and kind to each other. Yeah. But I do suggest people go in separate cars back home.
I love that. Before we forget, let's touch on AI quickly because we're going to run out of time in the next few minutes.
So, yes, it's been really interesting. I had a client come see me and he sent me this curated message of what he'd like to get out of therapy. And I was like, I hadn't even met the guy yet. And he was sending me a whole plan, like a whole treatment plan. So I sat down with him. I had a chat with him. The next time he came, he sent me a message about what he had gotten from the therapy. But it was all curated. I could see it was written by AI. So I sat down in the second session and I was like, dude, I'm not going to read this. I want to sit with, talk to me.
Yes.
Tell me how you're doing.
I want to hear from you.
What's going on?
Yeah.
He was struggling. He'd fallen in love with a lady and he'd gone and posted their WhatsApp messages into AI, and AI had given him the suggestion to give her space.
Whoa.
And after like 2 sessions, I was like something, because my as a therapist, I'm like, no, dude, go speak to her. Her messages aren't clear enough.
Yes.
They're not giving you a real insight into who she is. And what she's wanting. Go sit and have a coffee with her. You love her. You want to marry her one day. Be the man and go and hunt her, and go and talk to her. And he refused. And then I realized, I said, what did AI say to you?
Yeah.
And he said, no, AI said he mustn't. He must give her space. So I realized that that's actually quite terrifying, that AI is creating separation in people and not creating connection.
Yeah.
So there's some things that AI does really well, right? There's scalability. So it can help a whole lot of people at the same time. Yes. It gives people access to help immediately. You can go online immediately and ask for help. The concern is the help that you're getting is not necessarily true and correct. It can process a whole lot of data, but what it's comparing its data to is not necessarily correct either.
Yes.
It doesn't get tired. They say that AI is not biased, but I think it is biased. I think it leans towards the data that it has online, and that makes it biased. It doesn't hold both parties. And couples counseling, you feeding into, I've had so many people do this. They feed in their argument into AI, and then they come and tell me the argument that AI's come back with, what AI said to them about their argument. But I'm like, but you're arguing with AI. You're not talking to your partner about it. So there's, there are ways that I use AI in my business that is collaborative. So obviously, like automation, the processes that I can do, like invoicing and these kinds of things. I haven't done it yet, but I see that counselors do it. They help. AI helps them with creating treatment plans and journal prompts and stuff like that. And there's beautiful meditations and prayers and stuff online that one can use. But it definitely needs to be a supplementary go-to. It can't be a replacement. And I'm because we're human, right? And they talk about AI versus HI. So human intelligence versus artificial. So we as humans are empathic. Like I can sit, even if I'm working online, Thabo, I want to see my clients because I want to see how they're looking at me. What is their eye, where their eyes going? What's their body language? What is their tone? If they're distressed, to what level are they distressed? You can't pick that up in AI.
Certainly.
No.
We almost at the end, and I mean, I use AI only when I need to. I stopped using AI when I realized that for my schoolwork, it was referring me to non-existent references, completely non-existent. And I thought, hey, what's going on? What is really going on here? Then I thought, and I was also searching because I just wanted to get the framework of that stuff. But Leigh, your numbers quickly, your contact details before people slash my throat.
Thank you for today. It was so beautiful. My WhatsApp number is 079 525 8991, and then my email, at least my website, is www.leigjoy.co.za, and I've taken a break from social media.
Oh, fantastic. Leigh Joy, relationship coach, fantastic human being, and I really enjoyed it. All the best to you, Leigh. 3 minutes to 12.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.